I didn't mean for this to happen. I did everything I could, and I just didn't want to hide the truth from you. But I really wanted... Okay, again.
There's a dark truth about being an actor that no one really talks about. In fact, it's the dark side of being an artist in general. To your closest friends, your family, the people who watched you grow up, you're often seen as something special. The most talented person they know. A genius even. Someone they believe is destined for something bigger. What they don't tell you is that the moment you step into the industry, none of that follows you. You're no longer the talented one. You're just another name, another face, another audition. And in that room, you're not better than the person sitting next to you, or the person who walked in before you, or the person who will walk in after you. You are all the same. And that realization hits harder than most people expect. Because suddenly, talent doesn't feel like enough, and neither does passion. You start facing rejection in a way that feels personal, even when they tell you it isn't. Not quite right for this role. Looking for something different. We went in another direction. At first, you brush it off. You stay positive. You tell yourself it's part of the process. But over time, it starts to stack. One rejection becomes 10. 10 becomes 50. And somewhere in between, it stops sounding like feedback and starts sounding like doubt. And that's when the mind starts turning on itself. Are you even good enough? That question doesn't always come loudly. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it shows up at night when everything is quiet and there's nothing left to distract you from. And then another question follows. How can I be better? And at first that sounds productive, motivating even. But slowly it shifts. It becomes obsessive. You start analyzing everything. Your voice, your face, your body, the way you move, the way you speak. You look in the mirror, not to see who you are, but to find what's wrong with you. What can I fix? What can I change? What's missing in me that's stopping me from booking the job? And without realizing it, you begin building a relationship with yourself based on lack. Not enough experience, not enough talent, not enough edge, not enough presence. And the hardest part is, it never really stops. Because the industry doesn't give you certainty, it gives you moments. A call back here, a booking there, a maybe next time in between, and you start chasing approval like it's oxygen. But what no one really prepares you for is this. Sometimes, it's not about you at all. The industry isn't always looking for the best actor, it's looking for a fit. A look, a tone, a feeling that matches a vision that already exists in someone else's mind. And that vision doesn't always align with who you are, or what you value, or what you believe you can offer. And that's where another kind of pressure begins. Because now, it's not just about being good enough, it's about whether you're willing to bend, to adjust, to reshape parts of yourself just to fit into something that was never built for you in the first place. There are moments where the right opportunity comes, but with conditions. Unspoken expectations. Compromises that don't sit right in your gut. And you're left asking yourself a different question. If this is what it takes, do I still want it? Because the truth is, the business doesn't always reward authenticity. Sometimes it rewards what's marketable, what's controllable, what can be packaged, sold, and repeated. And if you're not careful, you can start drifting further and further away from yourself, chasing something that was never yours to begin with. And then there's the other side that no one warns you about. The side everyone is chasing. Success. Because we're taught that once you make it, everything changes. That the doubt disappears, that the validation fills the void, that finally you'll feel enough. But there's a catch. Extreme success comes with a price. Visibility, pressure, expectations you didn't have before. Suddenly, It's not just about getting the role, it's about maintaining relevance, maintaining an image, maintaining a version of yourself that the world has now decided you are. And the higher you go, the less room you have to fall, the less space you have to be human. You're no longer just trying to prove yourself. Now you're trying to not to lose what you've gained. And that pressure can be just as heavy as rejection, sometimes heavier. Because now the question isn't just, am I good enough? It becomes, can I keep this? Can I survive this version of my life? And in the middle of all that, somewhere between rejection and success, between who you are and who you're expected to be, you can lose the reason you started in the first place. And that's where it gets dangerous. Because slowly, your self-worth starts getting tangled with opportunity. And when opportunity disappears, you start questioning your value. But the truth is, the business doesn't define your worth, even though it can feel like it does. It doesn't see your late night studying. It doesn't see the emotional weight you carry into every audition. It doesn't see the moments you almost gave up but didn't. It only sees what fits right now. And right now is a very small window to measure an entire human being. Still, it's easy to forget that, because when you're in it, it feels like everything. Every audition feels like it decides your future. Every no feels like a step backward. Every silence feels like being forgotten. And in those moments, you start building a quiet war inside yourself, between who you are and who you think you need to become. You start believing that if you just change enough, refine enough, perfect enough, then maybe you'll finally be chosen. But perfection is a moving target. And the closer you get to it, the further it moves. Sometimes along the way, you realize something uncomfortable. You were never meant to become perfect. You were never meant to become, or should I say, you're meant to become honest. Because the truth is, the industry may not always choose you. But that doesn't erase the fact that you are already an artist. Even in the waiting, even in the rejection, even in the uncertainty. So maybe the real question isn't, am I good enough? Or how do I become better? Maybe the real question is, how do I stay grounded in who I am while everything around me tries to redefine me? Because if you're not careful, the industry will teach you to see yourself as replaceable. But art, real art, comes from something no system can measure: experience, truth, and perspective. You don't lose that just because someone didn't see it in an audition room. You carry it, even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching.